Okay, it's November here in Connecticut. We haven't gotten any snow yet, but I think it's due time for me to get a hold of this snowblower that I've been looking at. I probably watched every YouTube video I could find on there about the Ego, and I just had to think quite a bit about it before pulling the trigger, but everything sounded pretty positive, so I went ahead and pulled the trigger and I picked up this Ego 2-stage 56 volt snowblower. Got it at Lowe's because they seem to have some really good deals there, and I believe they have, from what I've heard on the YouTube videos, is that they have a special deal going on with Ego. And if you go into Lowe's, you do see like all kinds of Ego parts and things that you may need. So I think that'll be my main shopping place for Ego accessories and parts needed down the road. But for right now, I've got a brand new one, so hopefully I won't be looking for anything needed for a while. And this is the 7.5 amp batteries. I know the 10 amp batteries are out there. There's some really good deals going on with that too, but I just didn't want to put that much down, so I went ahead and went with the 7.5. I have a pretty good driveway. I'm going to have to measure it, but it's not really huge where I'm thinking, okay, I'm definitely going to need to just start right off with the 10 amp. I think by watching all these YouTube videos, this 7.5 amp is going to work for me. And if it really works well, I really do plan on getting other Ego products. I've had a Black & Decker electric lawnmower for 19 years, and I'm not kidding, 19 years with the same battery in it. And I've used it all through the summer, all the time, and it lasted that long. And recently I just put another battery in it, and I don't think it's going to be anything like the original Black & Decker battery that was in it, but long story short, it is pretty worn, but it still works. But I believe next year, that's what I'm looking at, is getting another electric lawnmower, and I'm going to go with the Ego lawnmower. If this works out good, that's my plan, and then I can get the batteries for that also and kind of swap them around so I'll have more batteries. So anyway, here it is in the box, and I'm going to go ahead and unbox it and put it together and just play around with it a little bit, and you'll see that on the video. And then I probably won't be showing up again until we finally get some snow, because there are so many videos out there on YouTube that I feel like I would just be repeating everything. So my plan is to go ahead and get this going, get it set up, and then once we start getting some snow, I'm going to film it a few times and talk about what I think of it and pros and cons, kind of like others have done, and it'll just be another voice out there giving you straight, honest talk about the Ego with no bull in between. All right, so let's get to opening this and getting it together. Okay, just talking a little bit about it because I opened this up, and it's kind of cool because they talk about, you know, all kinds of tools they have for their battery. And right here, right away, if you need any help, it's got some kind of website. Talks a little bit about it. I thought that's kind of neat, you know, just giving you any help you might need getting it together or any questions you got. There it is right on the box, kind of guides you right away. And if you open it up, yeah, it looks sweet. Looking forward to getting this together. It just looks like a real nice toy in there. Feel like a little kid on Christmas time. All right, so anyway, I'm not going to waste any more time on here. I'm just going to go ahead and get it together. Maybe snap a few pictures in the video, and then you probably won't see me again until we finally get some snow. Okay, there she is. She's all put together. I had put the batteries in once they were charged and tested out all the functions on it. Everything worked great. It's really easy to put together. It only takes about 10-15 minutes. You've just got these a couple of bolts and some nuts that you put on the end here. You don't need any tools, you just do it by hand. That way you can adjust the height of this handle, which is really nice because I'm tall, so I got it to the right height I want it. And then the only other thing you mount is the chute, which just slides onto this pole, and then you go ahead and run the bolt through it and tighten the nut up on it. And on this side, just a little tip. Once you put the chute, well, actually once you have the handle on, you've got like this, the cables for everything. You can kind of pull it through here, if you can see, if I can brighten that up any. But you kind of pull it through this casing to take the slack out up here, because you can see it's a little bit dark. But right in here, these cables can almost rub on the tire. So if you pull it through a little bit, get the slack you need, so you can adjust the handle height that you want it at, and just pull it through a little bit to keep it away from the tires, is what I'm trying to say. And that was about it. Other than that, everything's good. I can tell by the clicking noise of this chute that it has the upgrade in it. I know there's an upgrade that goes, I believe it's up underneath here. It's like a metal upgrade in there, right up in here. And that's been installed because I can hear it. I know some of the early models were having a problem where the chute would drift on its own. So I know that's been done. As you can see, if you've watched other videos, there's a lot of good videos out there, and they pretty much go into more detail about everything. I'm just going to be giving it a try once we finally get some snow, and then I'll post some of that on there and just give you my honest opinion of it. It looks good by the videos, and just some tips, like I was talking about the batteries to somebody, and I was watching something on one of the YouTubes, and they were talking about how one of the batteries came and it didn't have a partial charge on it, and after that it just would not charge right. It was brand new out of the box. So that was one of the things I checked out right away, was to make sure that both of my batteries had a partial charge, and they did. They had 1 bar showing, which I believe is 20% or less. So they did have a charge on them. So then I went ahead, and you are supposed to fully charge it first time before you use it. So I went ahead and fully charged them, and now they're ready for me to use. And I do know after 30 days, I believe it is, if you read your manual, the batteries will start to go into like a maintenance mode where they'll start to deplete down to, I think it's 30%. And that way they go into like a storage mode, so it's not good to be fully charged. So hopefully I'll use it before then, but if I don't, I'll just be prepared, because I know it won't be, it'll need to be recharged again after 1 month. I'll just check it. But let's see if I know anything else. Something else, just some tips and stuff that I've learned by watching a bunch of videos. Another thing, it's also in your manual about your batteries. You don't want your batteries to be in an area, they give the temperature in there, but I've watched another YouTube which talked exclusively about the batteries, and they said it's good to keep it somewhere where it's above 50 degrees, or like 50 degrees and above. So I'm keeping them in my house, because I heard like 70 degrees is like really nice for the battery. So I'm just going to keep the batteries, I have them set up in my closet, and I'll just pull them out and charge them when I need to charge it. And then you take them out of the charger and unplug your charger, and then put your batteries back in there. And I don't leave them in the machine. I just will keep them in my closet, and then when I need them, I'll pull them out, pop them in the machine. Because like your batteries can set certain codes if it's really cold, like if your batteries are in freezing temperatures. I know when you go to use it, it's pretty wild, but your batteries will go into a warm-up mode. So like it'll give you a certain flash, and that means they're in a warm-up mode. I think you actually can use it, but I think they tell you to use it in like a low power mode or something like that. But just trying to say, it's better not to let them get frozen like that. It's better to keep them in your house, keep them warm until you need to use them. But they have all kinds of unique things that the batteries will do if they get too cold. Same thing if they get overheated, they will turn themselves off. They give you some kind of flash code telling you that they're heated, and they won't come back on until they've cooled down. So a lot of high-tech stuff just in the batteries themselves. But okay, I won't bore you anymore. That's about it. You got the gist of it. There's lots of videos out there that will go into more details about taking it apart and showing you parts of it and everything. But this is just pretty much giving you my tips that I've heard about it on so many different, YouTubers out there doing a good job. And just want to tell you about the batteries that I read about in the manual and stuff that I've picked up. I'm trying to think of any other tips. The only other tips I heard about was, these shoes here. You adjust this for your scraper. It really looked well adjusted right from the get-go. I just barely have a gap down here, and I'm going to leave it the way it is and see what it's like. But these shoes were already on there. They were already adjusted, so I'm going to leave them. I've seen a guy out there who worked with Ego, and he's got some special shoes made out of metal, which is really cool. But I have a real nice driveway. It's real flat. It's just been retarred, and I don't want any metal dragging along that. But I think something like that would really be, it's a great thing to have, if it's like a rocky, gravelly driveway or anything else in a nice smooth cement driveway that you don't want metal dragging on. So for me, these plastic jobs, all the stuff feels really nice. It's like a real good heavy quality plastic, all this stuff. And same for these nuts over here, they're really nice. It's not cheesy at all. And I know guys will talk about, all that plastic, but hey, all this stuff is metal here, and it all feels really good and heavy. Just this area is plastic, which I really don't care because, when you get the salt and stuff, it really makes things rust up. So I think they did their job right. They got the metal where it needs to be and plastic where it should be. And we'll see how it all holds up. And I guess that's about all I can think of. All right, next time I'll be bringing this online will be when I got some snow and I can give it a shot and give you my honest opinion of it. All right, you all take care.